So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom and welcome to the test server, the 9.19.1 test server. So this is a sort of interim one which has some changes, some different bits and bobs, but basically is a preamble to the 9.20. Isn't as comprehensive as the last patch, thank God everyone's saying, because that really screwed things up. This thing is supposed to be improving bits and bobs. So let's take a quick look at the patch notes for the test server. This is on the Armoured Patrol site. So here's the Poodle, the Polish tier 6 medium tank. As they say, it's a variant of the Panther, basically. It's basically because two Panthers were captured by Polish troops during the Warsaw Uprising in August 1944. And it was one tank was nicknamed the Poodle, literally the Poodle, and used in urban warfare. So there you go. So there'll be a Polish filter on the vehicle selector, national cruise, only male at the moment, with ranks and personal data, Polish camo patterns, emblems and inscriptions, and the national premium consumable will be bred with Schmalek. Is that right, Schmalek? I have no idea what that is. Please somebody tell me in the notes down below. I'm ignorant. I've never been to Poland, one of the few countries I've never been. It says the Polish nation will not be added to the tech tree, and this is the confusion. Somebody pointed out in one of my earlier videos that, oh no, they're not adding Polish. They are at some point, but just not in this patch, right? For this patch, they will not be adding it. It'll be sometime down the line, I suspect. But they're not going to go to all this trouble of adding a premium and all this stuff in here if they're not going to bring in the national line. And I'm pretty sure I did read somewhere that that was one of their plans this year, at some point this year, to bring in the Polish line. And there is such a big viewership, is that the right word? People who play in Poland in this game, that it makes sense for them to do that. Much as I'd love to see an Italian line myself, but there you go. I'm a bit weird like that. New boot camp, so this is for novice players, tutorial and what have you, which is good. Like the idea of that. Anything that helps has got to be good. Improvements to strongholds, matchmaking improvements. Oh yes, yeah. Well, they fucked it up so much already. What do they expect? So mismatch in the number of light tanks, tank destroyers, self-propelled, and platoons within a particular tier will be decreased. Okay. So I think this is what they're trying to counteract, is where you get one sort of tier 8 light tank and the other's a tier 6 light tank on the other team. That sort of thing. For example, improvements will decrease the number of battles where one team has a light tank at the top of the list and the enemies at the bottom. There you go. What did I say? Also, long awaited, delighted to see this. They're re-allowing platooning of artillery. Not with other artillery, however, but if you are in a platoon and one of your platoon buddies wants to play artillery, that's fine. One arty in a platoon. Good, good, good. About bloody time too, frankly. And change the vehicle display order within particular tier by types in the team panel. Okay, well, as you were, I use a mod to do that, so I'm not so bothered about that personally, but for those that don't, I guess that helps. Improvement to stun mechanics. This is basically for the allied ones to stop or to show a better display of where they're aiming when they're going for things. But also, damage caused to vehicles that you've stunned will now count towards the calculation for marks of excellence on the self-propelled gun. I didn't realise it wasn't, but apparently it wasn't, so that's good. Changing condition for the Gauls medal is now enough to cause 2,000 damage without causing damage to allies. Okay, was that a thing? I don't know. Separate options for battle performance badges and total damage log to stun targets were added to the battle notification tab. Changing camera settings in the alternative aiming mode. So basically, this is when you hit the G and you get the alternative view, which makes me feel sick, frankly. I'm very interested to know. I used to use it's called Battle Assistant, was the mod that you could get and implement. Now you have to do all kinds of shenanigans to register and everything else, and frankly I've never bothered. I'd be interested to know whether anybody does bother. I would think usership of the battle assistant mod has dropped through the floor since they changed the way that works, because it used to be you just put it in, you put it as a mod, and that was enough. Now you have to register and do all sorts of stuff, and I just don't like the idea of that. I don't want to put my username into and my password into a third-party site. Thank you very much. Much as I like the mod, so anyway, be interesting. I don't know if anyone's using it still. Let me know. 13 tanks have been reworked to HD quality, so that's interesting. You've got a couple of big ones in here. Well, Easy 8 here, the Jackson, French artillery, Lorraine, yeah, the hydrostat, yeah, excellent Churchill gun carrier, sarcasm. Changed the Chinese voices with a different regional dialect. Updated the USSR female voices. It's interesting they put USSR. Wonder whether that's just a translation on this site. Okay. Changed the radio interference effect for female voices. Apparently that was annoying people. Changes to personal missions. So light tank 7. I won't read through all this. You can look them up yourselves. But there's a number of changes to some of the missions. Some of which seem to make it easier. Some of it seem to make it harder, frankly. So number of those in there. Improvements to the specials window. Automatic display of specials sent to notify. Oh well, yeah, whatever. And some changes to tanks. So this Tiger 217 that they've added in, you can't find it as a file, so it must be well hidden in there. But this is rumor has it that this is going to be some special mission tank. Maybe sort of one of these ones that you have to do a number of games over a period of time and get a certain amount of experience or damage or what have you through the summer. So the rumor is it is basically another Tiger reskin. So you've got the Tiger 131, you've got the Japanese Tiger, all identical in every way. This thing is a third, exactly the same, but it's based on a real tank. So it's again one of these sort of historic versions of a tank. So I like the fact they're bringing historic tanks into the game. I don't like the fact they're making us pay for them. Why can't they just sell the skin for a $5 or something? If you want to put national, change your tank and personalise them in some way, sell a skin for a $5 or something. That would be fine for me. But do we really need? Well, this will be 3 variants of the same Tiger, exactly the same stat-wise in the game, and then of course there's the Tiger 1 itself up at tier 7. Very, very odd decision. Anyway, it's wargaming, what do you expect? Well, they've changed the gun depression on the 121, the Chinese medium tank, and the 113 has also had better gun depression from -5 to -7. The 121 is -3.5 to -5, so that's interesting, and added the new tier 10 into the tech tree, and of course the poodle in the Polish line. So not a massive patch by any means, but some interesting bits in there. So one of the things that's always interesting in a new patch or in a test server like this is to find out what new tanks have been added to the game files. So there's 3 that I've found so far, none of which you can actually access directly and play with, so to speak, but there are 3 new tanks in there. The Poodle, which we knew about, this is the Polish tier 6 premium tank. I think I'm right in saying this is a precursor of a new Polish line. There was some talk sometime about it. It was a bit contradictory because one of the posts that there was that there'll be no Polish line, but I think they were referring to this coming patch, not for the future. But the Poodle is basically a Panther or a VK at tier 6. An unusual way of wargaming do it with new tech trees is they bring in a sort of tier 6 or so tank that you can practice, get a crew level up on, and then they bring in the line later on. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. There's also a tier 7 American light tank, the T-71 CMCD. This apparently was an air mobile tank, so very lightweight, Super cool. I love the T71 anyway, so this could be very interesting. And then there's also this elusive WZ-121 FT. This is a Tier 8 premium Chinese tank destroyer. Now, we know that the Chinese tank destroyer line is coming, but only to the Chinese server. So it's intriguing that the game files here have the premium tank hit in it. Now maybe that means nothing, maybe it means something. I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these things before we go on. Okay, so intriguingly, it won't let me show a preview. Every time I do it, it comes up with an error. So I haven't loaded full client, but I have. So that's weird. Hey ho. Okay, well let's look at it in here then. So the Poodle. This is a Tier 6 Polish medium tank. Has a 75mm gun, penetration of 150, damage shot of 135. So that's pretty much in line with the sort of Panthery types. And this is a captured Panther, basically. This tank. Rate of fire 14.9 rounds per minute is pretty good. So reload time with 100% crew of 4 seconds, basically. Turret traverse is very good. 31.29 is excellent. Very mobile by the look of it, as you'd expect with a Panther type chassis. -8 gun depression is very good indeed. Aim time of 2.21 is brilliant. 0.34 accuracy is very good as well. So standard DPM without any kind of equipment or anything, just with 100% crew and no skills, over a 2000, which is pretty good for a Tier 6 tank. 840 health, which is a little on the low side compared to, say, a heavy tank. Armor's not too bad, and it will be quite sloped, so it's 85, 50, 40 on the hull, 100, 45, 45 on the turret. Weighs nearly 45 tons, 700 horsepower engine. It's actually quite sluggish, I'm surprised. I thought it'd be quicker. 15.8 acceleration, which is it's okay. It's classic medium level. 55 top speed, 20 in reverse, and tank traverse is 31.29 degrees per second, which is excellent. With no camo or anything on this, is basically 11% spotting when stationary, so it's not outstanding, but it's okay. And I guess if you pimp that up with a bit of decent crew skills, etc., you can probably get that a lot higher. View range, very good. 370 base view range is excellent for a Tier 6. 741 as a radio, so that's an interesting little tank. So more than likely the precursor to the Polish line, although it was a bit contradictory in the patch notes for this. So T71, this is a premium Tier 7 American light tank. It probably has, don't know because I can't see here, unfortunately it won't let me, or will it? Oh, I can here, look, there we go. 76mm gun, 14 rounds per minute, very nice. Doesn't seem to come with an autoloader, which is a shame, unlike the T71. 175 penetration is, it's nothing special, but it is a light tank, so what do you expect? 210 with APCR, 150 average damage, 2000 DPM, which is, actually it's pretty reasonable, I suppose, without any equipment, and you will be able to load rammer on this thing. So 0.38 dispersion. It's a light tank, and they've done that to all the light tanks. And 1.9 aim time is excellent, very good indeed. So gun's not too bad. It's a typical light gun, fast firing, high DPM, not particularly great penetration. Turret traverse is excellent. That 47.9 is excellent, nearly 48 degrees per second. Gun depression is also outstanding, -10. Blimey, very good indeed. Aim time 1.8 is very good. Dispersion is not so good, 0.36, but actually for a light tank that's not too bad. 100% crew gives it 2183 DPM. Hit points 840, exactly the same as the Poodle down at Tier 6, but obviously this is a light tank, so it doesn't carry It's a light tank proper. It doesn't have any real armour to talk about. 25, 22, 19 on the hull, 22, 22, 22 on the turret. So you do not want to be getting into a fist fight in this thing. Engine power 340 is very low actually, but the power ratio, because it's very weight, because it only weighs 17 tons. The power ratio is actually very good, 20. Just over 20 is very good indeed. It has a top speed of an excellent 64. Wow, 20 and 25 in reverse. And look at the traverse speed, 67.8. This is a real live wire, absolute live wire. Concealment without any kind of goodies is 13.17, which is actually not great. I'm surprised by that, very surprised. I mean, I know you can pimp that up and there's no camo on that or anything else, but if you look at the TD next to it, that's got a base of 23, so yeah, not great. View range 400, holy moly. Base view range of this CMCD is 400, wow. And 745 signal range is pretty good. Now the Chinese Tier 8 premium tank destroyer. So I have no idea whether this is actually going to come to the European or the NA server. The normal line of TDs that are coming to the Chinese line are only for Chinese server, apparently. We shall see how long that is. But this one is in the files, so we'll see. In fact, let's go and have a look at it again. How do I do that in configure? Here we go. So, oh bloody hell, excuse my French, look at this gun. It's got a tier 10 gun on it. Wow. 6.12 rounds per minute, 248 average penetration, 310 with presumed, is it APCR or heat? I don't know. Heat, there you go, with heat. Wow. And 61 with HE, and a massive 440 average damage. Wow, very pokey. 2,690 damage per minute is pretty darn good. 0.37 dispersion is not bad at all. 2.9 aim time is a little bit tardy, but you'll be able to get that down. You'll be able to get that down for sure. So looks to have a monstrously good gun. Here with 100% crew, you're talking a DPM of, where's my DPM? There we go, 2,800. Wow, this thing is going to be an absolute brute. Surely that's too much. That's far too much. DPM of 2,800 on a tier 8 premium tank. You've got to be kidding me. Wowzer. And bear in mind, that's without any equipment. In fact, let's have a look at this. Let's put some what would you have on it? You'd have a gun rammer, and we'll put some vents on it. What else to boost this up? Gun lane drive, let's do that. I know I probably wouldn't put the gun lane drive on. And let's have some improved combat rations just to really egg the thing. And if we had Brothers in Arms, concealment, maybe situational awareness, how about that? Let's have a look and see what this does to it. Oh, I know what also we need to do, sorry, is put some camo on it. There we go. Let's have a look at what that does to it. So our DPM has now gone up to 3,400 for a tier 8 premium tank destroyer. You are having a laugh, Wargaming. Surely not. Surely not. Wowzer. Wowzer. That's extraordinary. And look at its concealment. 50% concealment. In fact, that's not even with a camo net. Let me put a camo net on instead of that thing. .55% concealment value. Wow. OP is an overused term in the game, but if this thing is implemented like this, holy smoke, this is going to cause some row. Jeez, look at that thing. Wow. massive gun with massive DPM. Penetration's not outstanding, but 248 is actually pretty reasonable. And you just load up the skill rounds, wouldn't you? Just load up the skill rounds, giving you 310 penetration. Oh Jesus, Jesus Mary Jesus! Wow. Let's just take all this stuff off for the minute and have a look back at this. Wowzer. Now admittedly that's best possible case, so right, we've taken everything, but this is a premium. You're going to have decent crew in it. Wow. Gun traverse 45 degrees per second is excellent as well. 10 degrees of gun depression. Oh no, it's traverse. Okay, so it's only -6 gun depression, 10 degrees of gun traverse each side, which is nothing special. Hit points 1100, 1200 frontal armor, and it is probably quite well sloped. 80 and 45. Obviously, it doesn't have a turret because it's a TD. Weighs 560 tons. Sorry, what am I talking about? Weighs 36 tons. Engine power 580. 16 power ratio, which is nothing special. Well, no, actually that's a medium, basically 16. 50 top speed is excellent. I mean, this thing is just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So we got up to 50% or over 50%. Base is 23. Concealment values. View range is also pretty damn good, 380 for a TD. That's excellent. Remember, again, you can put equipment on that to boost that up. And 600 signal range. So that thing, if that comes into the game, oh, Foshgate will look like just a little misunderstanding. Jeez. So there you go. That's 3 premiums that files are in the game. This one, which we know is definitely coming. These 2, which there's some question marks, and particularly that WZ121F. That just is. Jeez. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So the other thing we can take a look at in the game, although again, sadly, we don't seem to be able to play, is this new Chinese Tier 10 heavy tank, the WZ111SA, 5A, sorry, not SA. I need to change my glasses. 5A. It's sitting alongside the 113 here at Tier 10. Get onto it by the WZ11111111114. Sadly, I can't actually. Doesn't look like I can actually get it yet. Maybe this will come in a later iteration of the test server. I don't know, but this is it. Just looks like all the others. All the other Chinese. All these Chinese tanks look the same. No, I won't go there. So it's a nice looking tank, though. I have to say, I do like Chinese tanks. I think they are something special. 4-man crew, as they all do at this level. Gun has 130mm gun, 5.36 rounds per minute, 250 average penetration, 340 with heat, and 65 with HE. 490 average damage. Wow. It's a pretty good gun. 0.39 dispersion is pretty horrible, so this is an up close and personal brawler tank. 2.5 aim time, yeah, you've got to get in close and give people a right kicking. So we've got 490 damage, we talked about that. 5.59 rate of fire, reload time 10.7. Turret traverse of 27.12. Sorry, gun depression isn't too bad. -9. -9. God, I'm getting late. Sorry, -7. Aim time 2.4. Dispersion 0.37. DPM 2,738. Excuse me, hiccups. Drinking a beer, shouldn't do that. Actually, I should do that, but not video at the same time. 2,200 hit points. Frontal armor is 140, and it's very well angled, very nicely there. 120 on the side is excellent, 760 on the rear, so it's a good side scraper by the look of it, and that beak is not too prominent, so that won't affect your ability to side scrape, I wouldn't think. And look at that turret, 300, wow. 180, 60. I'm not sure about whether cupolas are soft spots, weak spots. We'll have to have a look at that in Tanks GG in a bit. Mobility, 50 tons, 750 horsepower engine, 15 power ratio is very good. 50 kph, wow, it's quick. And 37.55, wow, it's a mobile tank. This is going to be an outstanding brawler. Wow. Obviously stats in all these tanks is possible to change. You may not see them as they come out. This is just the test server after all. 6.44 concealment is nothing, so it's not a good sniper, but not a good hider, but that's not really what you should be doing in heavy anyway. 400 view range is excellent. Wow, 400 and 750 on signal range. So this thing looks like it's going to be fun. Let's have a little comparison, shall we? Let's do this. Oops. Do this. Get rid of those. Okay. One to compare, and we'll compare it to the Chinese tier 10, the 113. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? China. There we go. Add. Right, so let's just configure these with 100% crew, no equipment for now. That'll do. No, haven't got the 113, so that will be 100% crew as well. Good. Okay, so let's have a look at this comparison. So the 111 gets an extra 50 hit points average damage, which is very good. It also has better penetration by the total of 1, but you know, all counts. Rate of fire on the 113 is better, 6.2 versus 5.5. Reload time is quicker on the 113. Well, of course it is, because it's got a better rate of fire. They've got exactly the same turret traverse. They've got exactly the same gun depression. The aim time on the 111 is actually better, 2.4. DPM, accuracy is however better on the 113 by 0.02. DPM is negligible difference. You're talking 16 difference there. Hit points wise, the 113 gets an extra 100 hit points. I wonder why that is. But the armor is better on the WZ. 140, where it plays 120, although the side armor is the same. 300 at the front of the turret is 10 better on the WZ, so very good. They weigh 5 tons in it weight wise, 750 horsepower engine, both of them, but because of the slight weight advantage, the 113 gets better power ratio by 1.5. They both have the same 50 kph top speed, have the same traverse speed, so that's pretty much the same. Concealment values are both terrible, and they both got the same view range. The radio on the 113 is better, so there you go. That's new. Whoops, wrong one, sorry. Let's have a look at it in garage. That's better, isn't it? Oop. Oh, well, let me look at it. Okay, we'll forget that then. So yeah, that's an interesting vehicle, I have to say. I like the look of that. It's going to be, haven't quite got to it yet in the tech tree. I'm at the tier 9, so I think I probably will go for this rather than the 113 if this is implemented, because it does look a real beast, doesn't it? Let's hop over to Tank GG and have a look at some of the armor profiles of these tanks. So that's intriguing. In Tanks GG at the moment, you cannot see the new tier 10 Chinese heavy tank, WZ1111111111111. You can, however, see the WZ121GF, that premium tier 8 tank destroyer, and there is also a tier 9 here, but that files don't appear to have made it into the game yet. So let's have a look at this. So this is the tank destroyer. So look at the armor profile of this thing. Does look sexy, doesn't it? I like a good TD. And this does look quite, look at the angling on that. That's very, very, very acute. So let's give it, look it straight at us. There we go. So 120 sloped as it is giving us 200 plus, apart from down here, which is just under 200. So that's pretty effective. Under the gun here is even better, 220, 230. So a bit of angling. Oops, not like that. There we go, like that. It's not giving us an awful lot more. Okay. But over 200 is very, very good for a TD like this. Gun mantle is just ridiculous. Don't even try there. Lower plate, 140. That's the weak point. Okay, 140. Yeah, that 80 armor that is isn't angled back much, so that's actually very weak indeed. So if you can hide that, this top armor is actually not bad. The slit there is not a weak spot. Spaced armor of 0 and 120 armor underneath, so yeah, there's nothing there. Side armor, what did we say the side armor is? 80. So a bit of angling, look at that, 180. 200 here with 20mm spaced armor. So under here, under the sort of, what's that sort of, I don't know what you call that, mudguardy type area is spaced armor. So this thing is very, very pokey. 25 on the top. The commander's is actually very good indeed. Look at that, over 100, and look at the rounding on it. A ricochet. Yeah, this is going to be a challenge to take on this thing. This is if this comes into the game, we're all in trouble. We're all in trouble. Let's see if the Polish tank is here. Doesn't look like it is either. Tier 6 medium tank. Can't see it, can you? No, not in the game, not in the tanks GG, which is a shame. So we can only look at that one. Oh, let's have a look at that light tank, see if that's in here as well. Tier 7 American, wasn't it? There it is. There we go. So that's in the game, or in the in tanks GG. Yeah, well, 25mm armor. What do you expect? We can get a whopping 30. Yeah, nothing. Nothing and nothing is nothing. Spaced armor on the tracks, 20mm to 20. Oh, that's actually very effective there. Quite thick there. So don't shoot it in the tracks, but pretty much everything else will kill it. Kill it very easily. Yeah, okay. It's a bit of an ugly bugger though, isn't it? It really is. Yeah, anyway. So sadly we can't look at the other tanks, unfortunately. It's a real shame. I'd like to have looked at the WZ tier 10 Chinese tank. That would have been lovely to see in the profiles. I bet it's quite monstrously good. But it doesn't appear, unless we can find it another way. Let's have a quick look. Tier 10 heavy tanks. No, not here. Not here at all. What a shame. Oh well, never mind. So there you go. Interesting. Some very, very interesting stuff in this patch, even though it's only a sort of interim midpoint patch. I'd be intrigued to see. I'm quite excited that this thing will be HD when this is implemented, so I'm looking forward to that because it's one of my favourite tanks in the game, the Jackson. There's a long list of those, as we saw, of various tanks being HDified. So we'll wait to see what the armor profile looks like as a consequence of that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little look around the test server. I'm not going to play any games right now because nothing much has changed in terms of equipment. If I could play some of the premiums, these new tanks, I would do so, but it looks like the Chinese tier 10 isn't available yet to play. Maybe in a later iteration we'll be able to get out and play a few games with it, because that does look a bit of a beastie. Anyway, hope you found this interesting and useful. If you did, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, please. In the meantime, enjoy your games, have a really good weekend of playing. I hope the teams are fair and friendly to you, and we'll see you again soon. Gamer Dom out.